Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the webinar. We are going to get started now. My name is Casey Keller. I'm with the GiveGab team. I wanted to do a couple of housekeeping items before I turn this over to the Orange County Community Foundation. So everybody today is on mute, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to hear from you. We absolutely do. So please take this time to locate the Q&A box in the Zoom webinar panel. So find the Q&A box and please write into us with your questions. We do have some dedicated time at the end of this presentation for folks to write in their questions, and we'll be answering as many as we can. Also, we are recording this webinar. We will save this recording and we will share it back to the new website so that if you would like to, you could watch it later. We'll also be sharing the slides with you as well. So you will have all this great information for you after the webinar. With that, we're going to turn it over to our friend Carol Ferguson at the Orange County Community Foundation.
Good morning, everybody. The OCCF team is so happy to have you on the webinar this morning. We've been working hard on this migration to our new platform, and we think that you're going to be really excited. We appreciate all the nonprofits updating your profiles and getting them ready for the migration. And for those of you that are new to the platform, we just want to say welcome. In order to give our nonprofits and our viewers the best experience, we're actually going to be launching the new Nonprofit Central platform in 2 phases. We are still finalizing the financial tabs so that the financial information will show graphically and clearly. And we're also adding some additional text editing capabilities. So today, you're going to get a preview of the public site, and you're also going to get login instructions to your profile so that you can start to customize your profile. You'll be able to explore the public site, look at how searches work and all that kind of stuff. It's just that we will actually go live with the public site within a month. In the meantime, we'll still have the old Nonprofit Central site set up, but you can really get in there and start customizing your profile. So we're excited about that. Let me quickly go over the agenda for today. So we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of the platform. I'd like to share with you the benefits of participating and having a profile on Nonprofit Central. Of course, we'll give you a quick introduction to GiveGab and some of the new features, and we're going to give you a virtual tour of the public-facing site. For the new organizations that have joined us, we're going to review how to register to get a profile, and then we'll talk about all the neat things you can do to customize your profile. We'll quickly take a look at some resources that are available to you and then talk about next steps and take any questions that might come up. So let's talk about the basics. Orange County Nonprofit Central exists really to help donors and local residents better understand Orange County's nonprofit community and discover how to engage in the causes that they care most about. The great news is that once this the site goes live, the web address will be the same, and the search capabilities are really outstanding, allowing individuals to search by name, cause, keyword, city, things like that. Now, in order to have a profile on Nonprofit Central, you need to be a verified 501c3. For those of you that do not file a Form 990 or a 990 Easy, we would ask that you provide at least 1 year of income statements and balance sheets for your organization, and they need to be signed by either your executive director or board chair. So that would be something like maybe a very small organization that isn't required to file a 990 form yet, or perhaps a church. All right, let's talk about the benefits of participating. The number one benefit of having a profile is that it enables you to increase the awareness of your organization among potential donors and new audiences. My experience has shown me that a profile tells a much better story than a website, in that it's clear, it enables you to share your mission, your impact, needs, programs, your board information, and financials in a clear and easy manner. This site also allows for direct donations to your organization, and that's especially beneficial for giving days where it goes directly to you. If you do participate in a competitive grant program from the Community Foundation, or if you are a participant or wanting to participate in a collaborative giving day, it is a requirement to have a current Nonprofit Central profile. And what that means is that we have your most current information on your financials and your board and what you're up to. And if those of you that participated in the past, we are going to have our Keeping It Current campaign coming up soon, probably later this fall or early 2020. And any organization that has a current profile is going to be eligible to win an unrestricted grant. Last year, we made 28 grants for a total of $25,000, and one organization received a $5,000 grant. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really easy to participate. So let me give you a quick review of who GiveGab is. It's really a modern online tool that is there to help you spread the word about your organization and cultivate long-term giving relationships. One of the reasons that we are so excited about this platform is it is able to host both our year-round OC nonprofit site as well as our Giving Day sites for our collaborative Giving Days. Next slide, please. So some of the things that you want to note about the new site is that it is safe and secure and reliable. It's completely mobile responsive, which our old platform was not. And so it's really nice that it is mobile responsive. It's also very easy for donors to give and to be recognized, which you'll see as we move forward in the webinar. And you have a dedicated support team from GiveGab as well as the OCCF team. So I mentioned that the platform is completely mobile responsive. This is really important these days because 61% of all emails are opened on a mobile device. So if you send a link to your profile out to your audiences, it's highly likely that they might open the email and then click on the link from their mobile device. So we want it to look good, and we want it to share your information clearly. GiveGab also shared with us that during Giving Days, they're seeing up to 75% of gifts being made through mobile devices. And of course, donors can still view your profile and give easily on any internet-enabled device. I mentioned that the site is secure and reliable. The partner for giving is Stripe. They're a PC Level 1 payment processor. The site also goes through a process, the GiveGab site, to verify that you are in good standing and also state-recognized nonprofit. And there's lots of redundancy plans to make sure that everything stays up, and even during a heavy giving time for Giving Days, that we're not going to have any downtime. The fees and the pricing are clearly outlined on the donation form to make sure that everybody's aware. And GiveGab, obviously is going to work with us and with you to ensure that the users have the best platform experience possible. I mentioned the pricing. Let me review that quickly. There are no registration or participation costs at all to have a profile on Nonprofit Central or to participate in any of our collaborative Giving Days. The fees for the use for donations is 2.5% for the platform and 2.2%, which would be your credit card fee. So that would come from Visa or MasterCard, plus a 30-cent fee per transaction. One thing that's exciting is that we know historically that 65 to 75% of donors do cover fees on behalf of the organizations they support, and they'll have that capability on this platform. One thing that we're excited about is some advanced donation options. So we have many nonprofits that use the Nonprofit Central site as their main donation tool for their people to give to their organization. And now there is an option with a $100 minimum donation that they could set up an ACH withdrawal payment option for a $3 flat processing fee. So that brings the fee down quite a bit from a credit card. They can also set up recurring gift options, either monthly or quarterly. They can set a date, they can set a balance, and then once that is gone, the donation goes away. And one of the things I really like about it is that they can make a donation in memory of or in honor of, and they directly can send a notification email to the individual or the individual's family. That's something that we get asked quite a bit when we do donations from the Community Foundation, so that's pretty exciting. Immediately after a donor gives, they're going to receive a customized gift recognition and tax receipt. So you actually are going to be able to customize this with your logo, so you can see the little image that we have. We put the Orange County Community Foundation, your verbiage, and it does double as the tax receipt because it includes your organization EIN and the donation amount. And I think you'll all be excited that the bank statements are also going to have your organization's name with a 22-character limit. I think that's outstanding. I know when we did our county-wide giving days and people were doing their taxes months later, the Community Foundation was getting all sorts of calls because it had our name on it. So to have, the donations are going to go directly to you and the tax receipts will be from you. So it's really outstanding. And now I am happy to introduce Molly Esposito-Ceros from OCCF, who's going to take you on a tour of the new site. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Molly Esposito-Ceros from OCCF. You might know me if you participated in one of our collaborative giving days. We want to thank you all for being on the phone with us today, and we're really, really excited to give you this preview look at OC Nonprofit Central's front-facing page. So, as you can see, we have a more modern, simplified look. We really think that this is going to help your donors and supporters focus in on your information and be better able to support your organization. What we're going to do now is walk through the site, then I'm going to kick it back to GiveGab, who will show you how you can update and begin to reach out to new supporters. So first, the landing page. This is the first thing donors and supporters will see when they log on to OC Nonprofit Central. As you can see, the search is very prominent, and there are several different ways to search depending on how a donor or supporter wants to find you. They can search by name or keyword, they can search by cause or location. Let's go into one of the buttons to show how they can search by cause. As you can see here, we have a number of different animal welfare organizations that a donor or supporter can click through and find more information about your organization. We're really excited that this is a streamlined approach to help find your org. Let's go back to the landing page and search for the Orange County Community Foundation. There it is. And as you can see, there will be several places where a donor can donate to you. We're showing up now because we have gone through the approval process we've talked about. We're going to talk about a little bit later. Let's look at the profile. Here is a streamlined and updated OC Nonprofit Central profile. As you can see, you're going to have the option to create a profile tailored to your organization. You have a nice, colorful picture on the top, as well as space for a logo, and a tagline. This is a new feature that will let you put out a short, sweet message about your organization to your supporters. On this first page, you see that you'll have the option to add a video, some text, and even photos, as well as the contact information. Now let's look at the Overview tab. In the Overview tab, you'll be able to provide statements such as your mission statement, background, impact, needs statements, and statements from your CEO, board chair, and information about your geographic area served. Now let's look at the Programs tab. In this tab, you'll be able to highlight some of your programs, including a description, budget, and outcomes. Now let's look at the Management tab. Here you'll be able to list your CEO or president, as well as a description of their experience and staff demographic information. You'll also be able to include any awards that your organization has earned in the past. Now let's look at the Governance tab. Similarly, you'll be able to add information about your board chair and your board members and your board demographics. Now let's look at the More Details tab. This is general information about your organization, including social media handles and other ways that they can contact you. Now let's take a look at the donate button. Here, a donor will be able to set up those payment options Carol spoke about earlier. And as you can see, they can go into much more detail than they were able to in the past. Now let's go back to the landing page and look at a new feature under the menu tab. We have new information available for donors and for nonprofits. And these are great how-tos and toolkits that will make you able to take advantage of everything your new OC Nonprofit Central profile has to offer. And with that, I'm going to kick it back to GiveGab so they can explain how you can jump in and start editing your new profile.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Molly. So for most of you that are migrated organizations, we've migrated over your profiles to the new platform. Immediately after this webinar, individuals who are managers will receive an email from notifications@givegab.com. This email will have your login instructions, so please be on the lookout for that email. Again, it's coming right after this webinar. If for some reason you can't find this email in your inbox, maybe it ended up in your spam folder, so please take a look there. But if you still are unable to find the email, chat into us at the blue chat bubble. And we'll be going into the blue chat bubble a little bit more later in the presentation. Or you can email us at customersuccess@givegab.com. So again, for those migrated organizations, you'll get an email right after the webinar. For those organizations that are brand new and are registering for the first time, we're excited to have you. I'm going to walk through a few slides that shows you all how to register. So you're going to navigate out to the site, preview.ocnonprofitcentral.com. You'll click on the menu button in the upper right-hand corner and go to For Nonprofits. That's where we just were. That's where Molly just took us. Then you're going to head over to the Getting Started section. I've highlighted it here. Then up at the top of the Getting Started page, you'll see a big, beautiful button, Register for a Profile on OC Nonprofit Central. You're going to want to click that button. And maybe before you click that button, you can read through some of the other details on this page. It highlights some things that Carol went through earlier about organizations that are eligible, the things that you need to fulfill. So after you click that button, you're going to get taken to the search page. You're going to want to search for your organization's name. So you enter your organization's name here and click search. This is probably what's going to happen. You're not going to find your organization, but that's okay. You're going to see this Add My Organization button. You'll click there, and that's where you'll see a form. This really basic form that's on the left-hand side will ask you to enter your organization's name, the street address, and you can add your logo if you have it at the time, but honestly, I don't want people to worry about that. You can come back and you can add it later. So that's the first basic form that you need to fill out. You'll hit continue. And then over on the right-hand side, you can see the second form to fill out. I'd say there's about 10 questions here asking, things like if you're a fiscally sponsored organization, your tax ID, EIN number, and some basic contact information. So again, a relatively simple form. So after you do that, you'll hit the register button, and then you're into the dashboard. And now I'm going to turn it over to Nicole with the OCCF team to talk to us about the approval process.
Hi, this is Nicole. I've definitely spoken with a lot of you over the phone and email, and I'll still be handling the approval process for new profiles. So when you fill out your registration form, it'll be all in the system, so you don't have to email me that information separately anymore. And I go in and review that, and when you fill out the form, your status will be changed to pending, and that means that your registration form is completed, and within a week, I will get in touch with you to either approve your registration, and then you'll be able to fill out your profile, or if you're fiscally sponsored or something's missing, I'll request supplemental documentation that I need to finish reviewing your application, or if you're ineligible or you have a profile that was inactive that you weren't aware of, I'll go ahead and let you know and deny the request before you complete the entire profile. And when you are approved, your status will change to under review, and that means that you'll be ready to start customizing your full profile. And so while we have streamlined a lot of the content, the required fields are remaining pretty similar. So make sure you refer to the required fields as you're completing your profile, and I'll be double checking that these are all completed and up to date as well. And this will give a very comprehensive overview of your nonprofit to community members and potential donors who are looking at this site. And then when you have finished your profile, go ahead and let us know at OC Nonprofit Central at oc-cf.org to let us know that it's ready for us to go in and take a look. And then when we have approved it, or if we ask for any supplemental information and that's completed, the status on your dashboard will change to approved, and that means your profile's all public and up to date and ready to go.
Awesome, thanks, Nicole. And so this is Casey again, and so now Karen and I are going to take you through the back end of the GiveGab platform. So Molly showed you how beautiful the new profiles look. Karen and I are going to take you into the management of that, how you get that beautiful profile. So after you all receive your emails, emails today, you'll be able to log in, and then you'll land on a page that looks pretty similar to this. And you're going to want to step through these tabs up here and go through these sections down here to make sure that they are filled out. So Karen and I are going to talk you through some of that right now. So I think that Molly mentioned that you can now add a tagline, which is very exciting. So you will expand the add your organization's info. That's where you'll see the tagline and the website. So the tagline has a 75-character limit. It's a quick sentence, an overview of your organization. You'll also see the website listed in here. So if you're creating a new profile, make sure you add your website so donors have one more opportunity, one other way to learn about your organization. For those organizations that are migrating over, just be sure to check that your web address is correct, because we were able to migrate it over from the old platform. And now I'm going to turn it over to my friend Karen, who's going to take us through some of the other features on the back end.
Wonderful, thanks Casey. So we're still in the Add Your Organization Information tab, and here's where you'll be able to upload your logo. So for organizations who have their profiles migrated and who have rectangular logos, the import most likely cropped the image, so you'll want to make sure you go in and review your logo and re-upload them to resize them if that's the case. We suggest that that is one of the first things you do. You can see here that to upload your logo, you'll want to click on Select Image in that logo section. Then you're able to resize the image by enlarging it or reducing the size, and also you're able to reposition it. As your logo is one of the first things a donor will see on your profile, make sure your logo is current and really represents your brand. Also, in the Add Your Organization's Information tab, you'll be able to select up to 3 causes which your organization identifies with. These causes will make it easier for individuals to find your organization on the site. As we demoed earlier, the causes one way that someone can search for your organization on the OC Nonprofit Central site. So there's no need to worry about keywords or subtypes anymore. You just select the causes that correspond to your organization in this tab. For migrated organizations, please check the causes that are listed and verify that the causes are correct and just update them if that's necessary. Now we're going to move to the Add Your Story tab of your OC Nonprofit Central dashboard. For organizations who had their profiles migrated, there is a default cover photo on your organization's profile. So you'll want to go in and update this photo to one of your organization's favorite photos. For this, you'll click Select Image under the cover photo section and select the photo you'd like to upload. Then you'll be able to resize and reposition this photo just like we went over with the logo a few slides ago. Also in the Add Your Story tab is a text box, which has a number of text editing tools and the ability to add pictures. So you're no longer limited to one photo in your profile. You're now able to add multiple photos, which is pretty exciting. The text box gives you an opportunity to introduce your organization with a paragraph. This is a great way for individuals viewing your profile to learn a bit about who you are. So we really encourage you to add information in this text field because it's the first thing that people will see when visiting your profiles, and they're more likely to go through and look at more of what your organization is about if this provides information right away. Also, if you have a video that your organization would like to add, this is where you'll be adding that video in this tab. You can paste the URL for that video in the video URL field. You'll only want to enter the URL link for the YouTube or Vimeo link, not the embeddable code like previously.
All right, so back to me. So you noticed in the previous screenshots that there's a number of tabs with great information that we want to collect about your organization. So for the migrated folks, we were able to migrate your information over. But again, you need to go through these tabs and double check that the information is correct. You can see on all of these tabs, there's edit buttons. You can edit all, or you can just edit specific information. You'll see in this little GIF right here that there is a financials tab. Don't worry whenever you log in and you don't see the financials tab. As Carol mentioned earlier in the presentation, we're still working on the financials tab. We want to make sure it's perfect when you guys log in and view that information. But for right now, you'll be able to see all of the other tabs. So make sure you go in and update the programs, management, governance, and more details. And again, this corresponds all to the information in the profile that Molly took us through earlier.
Wonderful. Now we're going to move to the Get Verified to Collect Donations tab. One of the biggest benefits of having donations processed through our payment processor Stripe is how quickly your organization will actually receive your donations. So instead of waiting for your money to be processed by the Community Foundation and then granted to you, you'll get those donations in 5 business days via direct deposit. This is not only a big improvement for you as an organization, but it's also great for your donors to know that their donation is going to be put to use to making the community a better place that much sooner. In this tab, you'll want to enter information such as your organization's EIN, its name, its mailing address. You'll also need to enter your organization representative's information. We suggest that it's someone from your finance department or your executive director. We'll need their name and their last 4 digits of their social security number. Lastly, you'll need to enter your organization's bank account information. Please enter a checking account that is eligible to receive ACH transfers, as our payment processor Stripe will be depositing the donations, as we talked about earlier, directly into this account that you enter. When you receive those funds in your organization's account, you'll see GiveGab as a descriptor. If anyone from your organization has questions about this step, once you get here, the GiveGab team will be here to support you and answer any questions that you might have. So feel free to chat into the blue chat bubble, which we'll go into a little bit more in just a few slides, and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. Now we'll be moving to the Add a Thank You Message tab. In this tab, you'll be able to customize your organization's thank you message to your donors, which is really exciting because this is customizable to you and it'll be sent to the donor right after they make a donation, and it comes directly from your organization's contact. In this section, you're able to add a photo or a video. And again, if you choose to add a video, please only paste the URL link to the YouTube or Vimeo video and not the embeddable code. This also doubles as the tax receipt for your donors, as it includes your organization's name, EIN, and the donation information. In addition to a customized profile, some exciting features you'll be able to utilize are that you'll be able to add multiple managers. I understand that currently you don't have this capability to do this yourself, and now you'll be able to do it. You'll also have access to donor information in the Manage Donations tab, and this donation will be super useful as you continue to steward your donors. You'll have the option of using an embeddable donate button, and we know from the Community Foundation that some organizations use this as their main means for collecting donations. So this feature of adding and customizing a donate button on your website will really help ease a donation flow for your donors. Also, your organization will have its own custom URL to share with donors. This is a great tool, and you'll want to make sure that you'll use it in the future, because please note that the site is not live yet. We're still working on some things. So this URL link is not correct. We ask you not to share this link that's in this box at this time, but just note it for the future that you'll be able to share that out. You'll also notice that the social media buttons are here on the profile, which will be able to have you share your profile instantly to your organization, to your personal social media pages. Now let's go over how to add those administrators. So to add managers to manage your organization's profile, you'll want to click on Manage Organizations on the left sidebar. Then you'll want to select Add Administrator from the drop-down options. A box will then pop up on the screen that will ask you to enter the individual's first name, their last name, and their email address. The box that reads, "Make this person an administrator for your organization," will be pre-checked for you. And so when you add someone as an administrator, they'll receive an email from notifications@givegab.com, and this email will contain login information so they can log in and get started working on your profile. Now let's look at removing managers. So for migrated organizations, we do encourage you to log in and look at the current managers for your profile and remove any that are no longer there. To remove an administrator, you'll want to click on Manage Organization on the left sidebar again, and then this time you'll want to select supporters from the drop-down options. You want to click on the blue key that's listed next to the individual's name, and by clicking on that blue key, the key will turn gray, which means they will no longer have administrative access to your organization's profile. So you'll see in this section that your URL, as we talked about before, is listed in this box. As I said earlier, please note that since the site is not live yet, this URL link is just for the preview site, so this should not be shared with anyone. Your profile URL will change once the site goes live, and once that happens, you'll be able to share that URL. When you are able to do that, you'll be able to share the link completely, or you can use hyperlinks, or you can go to bit.ly.com, which is a site that shortens your URL. It's super handy if you're using Twitter or any other type of social media that has character limits. You'll also be able to share your profile by clicking on the social share buttons, which will share to your profile to your personal social media pages, not your organization's pages. And while you're going through and making updates to your profile, you're welcome to click on the View Your Page button that's there, and this will help you navigate back and forth and continue to make updates. You'll also have access to this donation report. So managers will know that organizations received a donation because they will receive daily updates. But when you do want to get more information about a donation or a donor, you'll be able to find detailed information by going to your profile and looking at this donation report and possibly exporting a CSV. In this report, you'll see the donor name, the email, the date, the donation amount, a breakdown of fees if the donor covered those fees, the payout amount, and the payout date. You'll have an option at the bottom of exporting a CSV for this donation report. And when you click that button, it'll send an email to the email address you're logged in under, and that email will have the downloadable CSV of your report, which does have some additional information, such as their phone number or any comments or messages they added during checkout. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Casey to talk about the next steps.
Awesome. So again, for those new organizations, we want you to get started right away. So go ahead and register for a profile on OC Nonprofit Central. So again, the site is preview.ocnonprofitcentral.com. So for migrated organizations, be on the lookout for that email from notifications@givegab.com. It's going to contain your login information. And again, we are going to send that right after this email. So be on the lookout. And again, just a friendly reminder to maybe check that spam folder if you don't get it within the next, I'd say, hour. So yeah, we want you to log in. We hope you're excited. We want you to log in and, get started on your profile. Double check that logo, add in a cover photo, get started on your bank account information. In addition, be on the lookout for emails from the OCCF team for future opportunities. And navigate around the nonprofit toolkit. We worked with the OCCF team to create some templates and toolkits and materials for you all to make sure that you're successful. So take a look around there.
And we really do encourage you to reach out to GiveGab with any questions that you might have. I am one of the members of the support team, and speaking for everyone on the team, we really do welcome you to utilize the blue chat bubble because we're here and happy to help you in any way that we can. So you'll find that chat bubble on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It'll follow you around as you're on the site. So you can just click on it and send your message in. One of us will get back to you. We're here typically from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, but this week we're extending our hours to provide you a little bit more of additional support in case you have any questions. We'll be here from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time this week to help you with anything that you need help with. If you'd rather send an email to us, you're welcome to do so by emailing customersuccess@givegab.com. Or for any additional questions that should be received by the OCCF team, you can still email them at ocnonprofitcentral@oc-cf.org, and they'll get back to you within 1 to 3 business days.
Awesome. So I think we're going to turn it over to Austin.
Hello, good morning. This is Austin Muckenthaler with the Orange County Community Foundation. I'm sure many of you recognize me from many different things. I previously oversaw the OC Nonprofit Central database quite a number of years ago. I'm also involved in our Giving Days, as well as managing our competitive grant programs, which Nonprofit Central profile is a requirement for. So I'm sure you've got an annoying email from me in the past, so I apologize. But I wanted to talk to you today about one of the most exciting aspects of the migration to the new platform, which hasn't fully been discussed yet, and that is its relationship to our new collaborative Giving Days model. If, for those of you old veterans of our original county-wide Giving Days, you might recall that we have always had 2 separate technology platforms, one for Nonprofit Central and one for our Giving Days. But now we're moving to one single technology partner for both. So as you can see on the slide, there are various logos for our current Giving Days, which in 2018, we transitioned to a cause-specific Giving Day model where we hosted collaborative Giving Days around a particular issue. And the list of causes is there, homelessness, special needs, and so on. And we worked with these nonprofit providers in those areas to create a unique branding around that. And for the last couple of years, we've used the Partner Fundraise. But as going forward, as of 2020, we're going to transition to using GiveGab for both Nonprofit Central and the Giving Days. So if we want to go to the next slide. So looking forward, the Giving Days will be hosted on GiveGab, which should eliminate some double work in terms of maintaining your fundraise relationship and your Nonprofit Central profile. We will continue to provide unique branding for each Giving Day. That's OCCF's role, is supporting that through our branding and marketing partner, Reveille. In order to participate, you must have a current Nonprofit Central profile. I know that on the phone there are many current participants in our Giving Days who are already very familiar with this process, but it is a requirement to continue to maintain your profile. So if you want to get a grant from a competitive grant program, or you want to participate in a Giving Day, you're going to have to be on top of your OC Nonprofit Central profile. We, as I mentioned, support the branding, but we also support the platform. As such, there's no additional fee to participate outside of the normal credit card fees, which will be the same for just regular donations as well as for Giving Days. And we are going to provide training, of course, which I'm sure many of you have attended in the past. If we go to the next slide, please. So some of the unique features that GiveGab's platform will provide include things like peer-to-peer fundraising, match gift tracking. You know, we always emphasize match gifts as a proponent or a component of our Giving Days. There's an ability to make multiple gifts at once using a gift basket, which should make the actual Giving Day transaction process much easier for donors. And just as we've had in the past, there'll be the ability to enter offline gifts so that we can boost our numbers and keep track of grants made outside the platform. There will be immediate thank yous. You'll have instant access to donor data, which is a huge plus and a new feature we're very happy that is included. And you'll receive direct deposits within 5 to 7 business days. Again, those of you who participated in the past may recall that checks can often take a long time to go through a process and be issued and mailed and such, but we're getting rid of that whole thing. So you will receive a direct deposit similar to how you'll receive OC Nonprofit Central donations if you're using the platform for that as well. And as always, there will be team support, not only from OCCF, but also from GiveGab, who are pros at Giving Days. I want to go to the next slide. So coming up, throughout the fall, we're going to meet with the steering committee members to get more feedback on the process and dive deeper into how we can continue to improve Giving Days. And if you click the link in the PowerPoint, which you'll receive a copy of after the presentation, that link there, you can go to our website and download the LOIs. For those of you unfamiliar, each Giving Day goes through a little LOI process where you'll submit your information around your cause, and we'll review them and provide feedback. We generally have 4 months lead time before a proposed Giving Day. So as you're reviewing the PowerPoint, if you want to look through the list of causes that for some of our pre-existing Giving Days, and maybe you haven't participated, didn't know we were doing this, and want to join a Giving Day that already exists, please feel free to reach out to us. Or if you see a cause that you think, hey, there's no Giving Day for my organization service type, and I want to participate or create a Giving Day, then please feel free to go to that link there and review the LOI and put together your proposal for a Giving Day, and we would be more than happy to support it. Okay, and finally, we move to questions and answers. I see I've been responding to some of you via chat on some of your questions, but I have saved some of the specific ones or some of the common ones for this section. So I want to pose a few to the group. One of the questions is, under causes, how are organizations sorted? It did not appear to be in alphabetical order. Question would be for the GiveGab team on the list of causes when you do a search or when you...
Yeah, so right now the way that it is implemented is that it is ordering the organizations by the order in which they were brought into the system. So we can certainly look at bringing that to alphabetical order if that makes more sense.
Okay, we've also received a question about providing the Social Security number of the organization's representative and why that may be necessary for the transactions.
Yep, that's a great question. So essentially, we need to verify that there's a person behind every organization that fundraises on GiveGab. This type of verification is necessary for us since as a platform that collects, processes, and distributes money in the form of donations from supporters to organizations, we fall under certain regulations. In particular, we're required to abide by the compliance laws that are part of the Know Your Customer and the Patriot Act. Just so everyone knows, the sensitive information that's entered, it's immediately tokenized, so the full details don't pass through our servers at any point. And it's verified and securely stored by our payment processor Stripe, which is a PCI Level 1 payment processor.
One question about, will the gift come across to our banks as OCCF, GiveGab, or the donor? So question about how will the nonprofit know that the direct deposit's from GiveGab?
It will have, that's a great question. It'll have GiveGab listed in the descriptor.
Will analytics be available for nonprofit profiles? They'd like to know how many people visit their page.
Currently, there is not like Google Analytics set up on the profile pages.
How can we find out who manages a particular organization's page?
So for that, anyone who's been watching, I would encourage you to reference slide number 38, which talks about removing managers in that process. Thanks, Casey. In that process, you'll see you click Manage Organization, and once you click Supporters, in this example, I just showed you one line, so it wouldn't take up too much room, but once you click Supporters, it'll list any managers, any volunteers that, you know, once you get going on GiveGab, you'll have donors' names listed there. And the way you'll segment those people out is by clicking on admin, which you'll see an arrow pointed towards that. And if you click on the word admin, it'll bring all of those managers to the top, and you'll see them differentiated from the others because they'll have the blue key. One thing I do quickly want to say for the other question about Google Analytics, while we don't have that on the donation form, on the donation report, excuse me, you'll be able to see how they came to your profile. So if they came to your profile from Facebook, that will show up in one of the columns. So I apologize that we didn't go over that, but that's a pretty cool and exciting feature.
Relatedly, there's a question, if a manager is not with the organization anymore and they cannot access the profile, what is the process?
I think they should use the blue chat bubble to reach out to us, and we'll make sure that they get the appropriate access, working with the Orange County team to make sure that, yeah, they have access.
One question asked, they already have a Stripe account that is verified and wanted to know if it was possible to integrate that so they don't have to provide the social again.
No, that's not an option, unfortunately. You have to go through GiveGab's managed account to set up a new Stripe account.
Okay, and I received a question about the relationship of Nonprofit Central to GuideStar and the connection to the IRS. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yep, we can talk about that.
Yeah, so as part of working through the financials tab, we are actually really excited to be integrating with the IRS database. So it is a little bit of a shift, but this will provide us the opportunity to get more up to date and more relevant information than with the GuideStar integration. So this is something our team is working very closely with the OCCF team, and it will be rolling out within the next couple weeks. So there'll be more information on that coming soon.
I have a question here about viewing notes from donors. Will it be in a CSV file or can it be viewed through the platform?
That is available through the CSV, and that's only because we have expanded to getting so much more data about the donations that we have moved some of those information fields to the CSV so as not to make this report on the platform on the site, super long. So it's just to simplify.
And there's one question about, will we be publishing the answers to these questions in a FAQ page or a follow-up email?
We can definitely do that. Yeah, we will receive a list from the platform that we're using today to host the webinar. We'll receive a list of questions, so we can make sure to follow up with the entire group on some of these answers to these common questions.
Will there be any notification that a donation was made before the individual donation is deposited? Their finance team prefers a statement. So the nonprofit administrators will receive a daily summary of all donations that were made that day. The administrators will have to log into the platform to get visibility into when it'll be paid out. So the email notification summarizing the donations for the day will come in advance of the donations being deposited into the account. But the back end does provide visibility. There's two columns, one that says when the donation was made and one when the donation was deposited. So that should help. We definitely worked with some finance people to make sure that they had all the information that they needed to reconcile their report. So I think we provide a lot of good information on the back end there. Relatedly, will the gifts come through as a lump sum or as individual gifts? It'll come through as a lump sum. All right, feel free to keep the questions coming. One attendee asked if there was a deadline to complete the migrated profile. I think you'll continue to have access to your backend, and you can keep your keep editing your profile. We won't cut it off necessarily, but I know that the OCCF team might have some deadlines for you all in terms of when they want you to, go back and review and update your profiles. It's kind of a wishy-washy answer. I don't know if there's anybody on the OCCF team that wants to also jump in.
Sure, I'll jump in. So we are still going to have the annual renewal process, and we are aware that since we are expecting people to go in and start updating as soon as they can, but since we're transitioning to a new platform, as long as you are really trying to keep your profile up to date, all the expiration dates are the same as they previously were. So as long as you're engaging and you're making a good faith effort to keep things up to date, we can provide a little flexibility while we're going through this transition, but all of the expiration dates are still the same as they were.
There's one question about donation fees. Will the organizations pay for the donation fees separately, or are they automatically deducted from the donation prior to coming to the organization?
They are automatically deducted before the payout occurs, and you'll be able to see whether or not those fees were covered on the donation report. So you'll see the intended donation amount, the fees, and then whether or not they were covered on that.
We received another question about integrating with GuideStar, and I do know that in the past it is a lot of work to do both. It's something we're continuing to look at how best to help nonprofits with those two separate processes. In the June webinar, we had a slide on that specific topic and the reasons and strategies behind it. So I would refer you to that earlier one, or please feel free to reach out to OC Nonprofit Central for more information. And if there aren't any other questions, the final one is, well, I want to make one comment. I've been receiving several questions about how to fit into the different cause categories and what they are, and if additional ones can be added. I would say to reach out to us directly about your specific organization focus, and we can figure out how best to include you in the list of causes. And if you have feedback on the names and list of causes, feel free to let us know too, and we'll take that up to the development team.
I did see a few questions about how to select causes. So you will be able to select 3 separate causes when you set up your profile.
Another question related to fees. Should organizations be encouraging donors to make single large donations rather than recurring ones, such as monthly ones? I'm not sure about the math on that, but
I think it just depends on your relationship with that donor and whether or not they're able to cover the fees and the convenience of doing it monthly versus a lump sum. I think that would have to be a conversation with your individual donors.
And the final question is, when is the official Go Live launch date?
So I think that's something that we're working on with the OCCF team, but I believe it'll be in the next, within the next month.
All right, if there are no further questions, there's no more coming through. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to OCCF. You can, as always, email OC Nonprofit Central at oc-cf.org or call our main line and you'll be redirected most likely to Nicole. But feel free to keep those coming.
Yeah, and the GiveGab team is standing by today. We're going to send you guys those emails so you can log in, and we'll be available on chat to help out in any way we can.
All right, thank you from the OCCF team. Appreciate all your time this morning.
Thanks, everybody.
And we'll be in contact.
Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.